Hey everyone, I'm Lucy.
And I'm Tamoor.
And it's time to be afraid of technology once again.
We're going to be breaking down the episode Rachel, Jack and Ashley 2, delving deep into its various nuances and pulling out those oh so tantalizing Easter eggs.
And there are a ton of them, which is why we have a load of notes with us that we're going to have to keep referring to. We're very sorry, we don't have a teleprompter because it's technology. We should be afraid of it.
We're cutting them out.
But if you haven't seen the episode, turn away now. We're going to be delving in deep.
Starting off with an easy one, the episode begins at Rittman High School, and you may remember that name. Colin Rittman was Will Porter's character from the episode Bandersnatch.
This next one is like the big Easter egg at the heart of the whole episode, and as a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, absolutely adored it. So you might recognize On a Roll, Ashley O's song. So full of ambition, I'm gonna get what I need. It sounds a bit familiar. That's because it is a rewrite, like a nice cheerful rewrite of the Nine Inch Nails song Head Like a Hole. Bow down before the one you serve. You're going to get what you deserve. Which actually is the version of the song that she sings at the end, but it's nice to see that how the lyrics have been changed to make it all happy. Yeah. So it's, what is it? Hey, I'm a hoe, I'm on a roll, riding so high, achieving my goals, instead of head like a hole, black is your soul, I'd rather die than give you control. Very different in kind of meaning, tone. Obviously the Ashley O version is light pop and the Nine Inch Nails version is
heavy pop.
When we're looking at the On the Roll music video, it's on Girvan Records. So David Girvan is the script editor on Black Mirror. And the person who directed the music video is Anne Sawitsky, who actually directed the whole episode.
So then a little after that, we get some insight into Ashley's mind when you see her actual notebook, which is straight up like teen edgy notebook material. Like you get some like really like, she's written this with her fist. Like she's not holding her pen daintily. And there's like phrases in there like, junkets suck.
I've done some junkets before, like junket interviews, they do kind of suck. You get
yeah,
6
they do
minutes
suck, yeah. And then she's talking about something important there, pills. And specifically the pills make her woozy, meds. So this is the first indication of that she knows something's wrong there. And then a presence throughout the episode is a mention of Monk, who is the doctor. It's not quite clear what he's a doctor of.
No, I mean, she even
says that. Yeah, she's like, qualified for what in there? Which means like, what is this guy? He seems like very much like a showbiz doctor, which is prescribe tranquilizers. Yep. Go, go, go. And then later on, we get kind of a little more insight into Ashley and the fact that she's kind of drifting away from the kind of music she loves. She's sitting at her piano and composing some music, which, if you're paying attention to the lyrics,
is another Nine Inch Nails song.
She's back.
So she's at her piano playing a song in a minor key. The lyrics are quite depressing, you know, like, see the animal in her cage you've built. That is another Nine Inch Nails song. It's right where it belongs.
So following that, we get a look at Jack, who is another quintessential teen angst archetype. She's reading a book called Stone Junction by Jim Dodge, a real book. And although it's ostensibly a fantasy book, magicians and all that kind of business, at the heart of it is a kind of story about coming of age and finding your place within the world. And that's something that Jack, we can see, is also trying to do, despite...
And Rachel.
Yeah, and Rachel too, despite Jack being the one that seems to have gotten a grasp on it. But it's that teenage, I think, this is what I am, which is, you know, we all grow out of that phase. So that's why that book is important.
So Ashley's inspiration for On a Roll, she says it's a song about when dreams come true. She kind of like imagines all of her songs during dreams and put them on YouTube, and that's how she became famous, kind of like Justin Bieber. And it's a song about, look how far she's come, you can do it too. Actually, the inspiration for the Nine Inch Nails song Head Like a Hole is that song is about the control that money has over people and the pain and suffering associated with it. So it kind of sounds like Trent Reznor saying, got money, I'll do anything for you, but he's actually saying God money, because money is God to capitalists.
Someone's been on genius.com.
And then that whole song is basically Trent saying he would rather die than give in to temptation of capitalism.
Yeah.
I paid $45 for a ticket, Trent, so don't you talk to me about that.
That's what she's learned from it. It's really interesting, the differences between Ashley's music and Rachel loving it, and Jack's music and her embodying the rebellious spirit that is actually behind Trent's music.
Yeah.
So like she's talking about, she at this point mentions the various songs that an artist that she likes, and it's kind of classic rock, kind of like cool grunge era, that kind of stuff, like Pixies, Sonic Youth, Idols, Savages, and Ashley O, the Amazon version of Ashley O, is like, nah, don't really know that stuff.
I don't know any of those.
Yeah, and it's what the kind of music that she would go on to embody.
So when Ashley 2 is training Rachel to take part in her dance recital / talent competition thing, she clearly has like this tie-in app.
Yeah.
The Alexa app.
Yeah. It's brought to us by Ubisoft apparently.
Yeah, because that little dance thing is basically Just Dance.
Yeah,
just
it
on
looks
your
very
mobile.
similar in the UI as
Very
well.
similar. Also, I found it pretty funny that Ashley 2 is convincing her to take part in that show, and yet she only gets 3 stars out of a possible 5 on that dance routine.
Guess that's kind of a commentary on perhaps like the positive culture or
On participation.
On participation, and even
culture.
like the Alexa, the assistant style thing, where it's always going to tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
You're gonna look like a star.
Following that, a little bit later on, we get kind of a hint at another teen pop star.
Yeah.
There's a character in the background, slightly blurry looking, that looks a lot like Ariana Grande.
She's got the ponytail.
Yeah, she looks. If that isn't Ariana Grande, which probably isn't, they've hired a lookalike to very clearly evoke that kind of character and that person.
And she's had the similar kind of thing that Miley's had, in that, you know, she's grown up on Nickelodeon and has had to kind of break free of those chains and become a star in her own right.
Yeah. So during a news report, the actual source for the news is USN, which is presumably the United States version of UKN, another outlet that we see featured throughout the series. On this specific news report, they're talking about plastic import and export, which, who knows what that means? Could be something to do with a doll or something that comes up 7 seasons from now.
And when we see the news report that Ashley O has been taken into hospital, it is, of course, St. Juniper's ICU. St. Juniper's, San Junipero, we saw it in Black Museum. It's where Dr. Peter Dawson worked, it's where Rollo Haynes worked. It's very ingrained in Black Mirror lore. But of course, as USN is still playing, we get a bunch of those ticker updates along the bottom with headlines, so let's go through those.
So the first one we have is architect arrested on multiple murder charges. So the architect one is a reference to Mia in Crocodile from the last season, which was a rough episode, but
she got her comeuppance though.
yeah, seems like it.
UK police branching, I couldn't figure that one out.
No, I'm not sure what that was. UK police are always branching, we can confirm that.
But unless it is related to the one we see a little bit later on, which is Hing. The end, Hing, narrative creator, still missing. So the end of branching. Maybe it's UK police say that branching narrative creator still missing, so that could be from Bandersnatch. Or it could also be a reference to, I saw a bunch in the other episodes of hashtags where it's Saito X Netflix. So it could be teasing, the Black Mirror in-universe Saito Gemu are doing something with Netflix, maybe another branching storyline. Speaking of Saito Gemu, there is Saito Gemu shares jump on Striking Vipers release. Obviously, Striking Vipers, the game at the heart of the episode, Striking Vipers.
So then we have another one, which is museum owner's body found in smoking ruins, which you may remember from Black Museum, the unfortunate end of Rollo Haynes.
Was it unfortunate though? He kind of
No, he
deserved
very
it.
much deserved it, but yeah, that's him done.
We also have Tusk makes a boo-boo on a British TV show. Tusk is the guy from Hated in the Nation who is, he's victimized by the hashtag Death2 and killed by mini machines.
Then we have a mention of Sea of Tranquility reboot.
Yep.
Reboots are making their way into Netflix's Black Mirror. So Sea of Tranquility is the movie that the cosplayers were going to in the episode Nosedive.
Yeah, they were all big fans and cosplayed as characters from that show. And I feel like Sea of
Looks lit.
Tranquility
I'm well up for that.
is going to appear in like season 6 because it's been referenced all over season 5.
The first animated Black Mirror episode. Let's go.
That would be so sick.
Prediction. Okay, so one of the central conceits of the episode is they copied Ashley's mind over into the dolls, which serve as the assistants. And that's kind of similar to what happens in Black Museum, the mind copying stuff. In this case, however, there's a limiter on her consciousness, which they describe like as a synaptic snapshot. Despite how advanced that technology seems to be, all it took to kind of reverse it is just plug it into a computer and hit delete on a file, which is kind of weird. But not futuristic enough for me, apparently.
You want like someone to turn it off and on?
I need like, I'm hacking, like we're in.
I'm in. And if you think about it, a copy of your consciousness put into a machine, it's very similar to the cookie that we saw in White Christmas, except in this case, obviously, it's not your consciousness has free will and can plan your day out for you. It's been blocked to do a very specific thing.
Yeah. So we talked about this already, but when they extract the music out of Ashley's mind, it's a version of the Nine Inch Nails song, Right Where It Belongs. And when they play it, to me, it sounded like Death Grips. Until they use the very, very handy positivity slider, which is like crank that up and it just turns into a nice pop music version of it. Lovely.
Wish I could have that for my Twitter feed.
I wish I could have that for my life.
The reboot screen on the machine that's keeping Ashley alive, that little pinwheel, the loading wheel, looks exactly identical to the one at the beginning of most Black Mirror episodes, like the little buffering kind of thing.
So the actual contract or the pitch document or whatever it is that they're showing for Ashley Eternal, we read through it and there's not really anything super interesting about it. However, it does have some quite astounding kind of like reflections to what Amazon is currently doing, where they'll give you a $25 gift card if you come into one of their centers and they scan your entire body.
Are you serious?
This is 100% true. You get $25. They claim it's to make clothes fit better, so don't be alarmed if you suddenly appear as a hologram after you're dead and buried.
God, okay, I didn't realize that. But anyway, the Ashley Eternal press conference, it's basically this huge allegory for what's happening with entertainers like Tupac.
Feel me!
Elvis Presley, as he appears in the hit film Blade Runner 2049. But also they're kind of doing it with a lot of Amy Winehouse as well. Very questionable ethics with regards to what happens to a digital version of you once you die and you can't say no if someone on your estate. It's like the bloody Jimi Hendrix estate and Elvis Presley estate. They just keep releasing new albums of unheard versions of songs and stuff where it's like...
It's the same for Tupac. Like, it keeps coming out.
Because you have an estate and those people... You're not going to benefit from this, it's the people in your estate. And yet when Ashley's finally broken free of her Ashley O persona, she's playing at Bob's and she's playing Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails.
It's a great version.
It's a great, I am legit excited for that to come to Spotify.
Many thanks to Trent Reznor.
Many thanks to Trent Reznor. Also, another thing I noticed in the closing credits is that the rest of the music for the episode was composed by Isabel Waller-Bridge, who is the sister of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who wrote Fleabag and Killing Eve, which are very excellent shows that you should watch.
What a talented family that is.
Yeah, seriously.
It's ridiculous.
So those were all the Easter eggs we managed to spot in Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2.
We've tried to be as thorough as possible, but there's no doubt a couple, maybe even more than a couple.
No, there's not.
That we missed. So if you spot anything that we have missed, let us know in the comments below. And make sure to keep your eyes locked on youtube.com/GameSpot Universe and on the website GameSpot.com because we have breakdowns of every single episode of this season.
There's only 3.
There's only 3.
I mean...
But they're like an hour long and traumatizing.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.